Hey everyone, Reaper here again with another video. This is now part 3 of my awesome comic book covers in my collection series. So let's get started. I changed it up, now you can see me in this. Detective Comics 880. I am not necessarily the biggest fan of modern books. That's just the way it is. That is, those are my tastes. But there are a lot of modern books out there that have truly awesome covers. I don't have too many of them in my collection, but this is one of them. This is a very iconic cover. Let me get get you a closer look at the book. A truly iconic jock cover of the Joker. You'll see this image on shirts. You'll see this image on all of the sorts of things related to Batman, and it originates from this cover. Truly wonderfully drawn, and it shows, in my opinion, the absolute insanity of the Joker as he's smiling, as his face and his head is dissolving in an array of bats. A truly beautiful book, truly beautiful cover. Next book on my list, a cover that I like very, very much. Daredevil, 168, the first appearance of Elektra. Again, I have to go back to 1993 when I first discovered this title, well, really this cover, collecting the Marvel Masterpieces cards, first set. On the back of the Elektra card was her first appearance in the cover. This is how I became familiar with this cover, and that is where my appreciation for this cover has come from. I truly love it. The way Elektra appears in the background in this dynamic cover of lightning almost carrying her into the area where Daredevil is. It's really, really good stuff, and to back up the awesome cover, also the awesome storytelling that came with this at that time by Frank Miller. Truly classic, wonderful, all that. And the next book, Amazing Spider-Man 28. Now this was at the tail end of Steve Ditko's run on Amazing Spider-Man. And although there are many great Ditko covers, there are some that are just I think this is one of the better ones that he has done. Really, it's very simple, and I think sometimes to have something that's truly classic, it starts in simplicity, and I believe that this cover is simple. It's just a black background where you see Spider-Man outlined by the red of his costume, and emerging is the Molten Man, this beautiful golden looking character coming after him, golden or yellow, whatever you see him as. I see him as golden. Then again, though, I'm colorblind, so you may not want to go by what I see, but I see this light emerging from the darkness, creeping up on Spider-Man, or coming right at him. Really wonderful cover. I mean, like I said, a lot of my complaints with this cover and a lot of earlier Spider-Man covers is there's way too many banners and descriptive elements on the book. This is all you needed. This is all you needed to introduce the Molten Man. Cloaked in darkness, Spidey faces the mystifying menace of the Molten Man. That's it. That's all you need. You don't also need in this landmark issue, you won't want to miss Peter Parker's graduation. I don't think people were flipping the pages to see Peter Parker's graduation. They want to see this new menace that's coming out of the darkness. Who is this guy? Molten Man? What's this about? That's what they wanted to see. Sticking with the Silver Age, this cover, as a person we all know very well would call a absolute blazer. X-Men 17 Kirby cover. I said it before, I'll say it again. I love red and yellow background covers. This is a red cover, as you can tell, and it is done masterfully well. It is just absolutely stunning, the richness of the red in this book. It's just wonderful, absolutely wonderful. And that is why it's on my list of awesome comic book covers in my collection. Well, we still got a little bit of ways to go. We're almost halfway through. All right, let's get back to EC, right? The Haunt of Fear number 22. This is a very special book because this is the in the movie that came out in 1972. The cover story, which was done by Graham Ingalls, my favorite artist, so naturally it's going to be on this. That's going to be in one of these videos. Is Wish You Were Here. The cover story is Wish You Were Here. But let's take a good look at this. Here we have the wife reaching for the knife on the table. And here is the statue in which she wished 3 wishes. The couple were going through some financial difficulties and she wished for money. And it brought a whole load of events that she and her husband didn't think would happen. But just look at it. As the husband in the background, in his casket, reaching up in writhing pain. It's just this image, this cover captures so much, absolutely so much that is good with EC and with Graham Ingalls. Now this one right here is not a drawn cover. It's not a comic book cover. It is a magazine. The infamous Nintendo decapitation cover. This is the 2nd issue of Nintendo Power, and I remember when I got it in the mail when it first came out. It just captured everything I loved about Castlevania. The horror elements, the darkness, and the violence. Now here, I've mentioned this in other videos. Here we see Simon Belmont holding the head of Count Dracula. This supposedly brought in some controversy because this magazine and Nintendo is geared towards children. And they get this in the mail right around Halloween time and they see, oh my God, there are body parts all over the place in this. Well, that's the gist of Simon's Quest, but it caused a lot of problems. But I think it's great. I've loved it since the first day I saw it. And what's inside is also very cool too. But definitely one of my favorite covers. Awesome comic, well not necessarily comic, but awesome covers in my collection. All right. Here we go, another one that dates back to when I first saw it in 1993. This cover is beautiful with all the different colors and the artwork. Phenomenal. Avengers 67. Look at the colors in this. The yellows and the blacks and all these other purples, or dark blue rather, I think it is. I don't know if it's purple. Once again, I'm colorblind, I can't tell. But I think it works so wonderfully on this cover with Ultron zapping the Avengers. This is a cover that I've wanted for years. I was able to get it several years back, but this was a cover that I wanted for so many years after seeing it on the card. I said, this is such a great cover. And at the time when I first got into books and collecting in full-time collecting, I should say, in 1993, I was surprised that, wow, look at this. This artwork is so great. This is actually from the 1960s. I didn't think it was that, the earlier stuff was that good when I first got into the hobby, but that's, I learned to appreciate it and really see the value in it as time went on. But truly remarkable cover. Okay, we have a few more. Let's get back to some EC, right? The Vault of Horror number 13. I've talked about this book in a previous video, I think. Sometimes I lose track, but anyway, let's just take a look at this. Johnny Craig cover. Johnny Craig has pumped out some memorable EC covers and some infamous EC covers. No doubt. Johnny Craig did most of the stuff in the early days. When it came to Vault, he did all of Vault of Horror. That was his magazine, but he did a lot. He did he did a lot of Crime Patrol, War Against Crime, early Crypto Terror. I think he did the first Tales from the Crypt number 20. So he was all over the place. But this is one of my favorite covers. Look at this. The two guys opening up the casket. and the body's missing, and they're wondering, where is the body? Well, here she is. Take a look at the doorway, the ornate drawings and sculpts on the molding. Truly wonderful stuff that you can just look at and pick up new things every time you look at this cover. It's one of the hallmarks of EC that you take a look at some of their covers, and as horrific as some may seem, you look at them again and you start picking up other little things that you didn't notice. That's what makes it so great. That's what makes ECs, or at least their covers, truly fantastic. And Vol.13 is one of my favorites. Here we go again, red cover. How could I not like this one? You got Neal Adams involved. Neal Adams in his Batman heyday drawing the Reaper. What's not to love? Really wonderful. I like the way the Reaper comes in swinging the scythe at Robin, and Batman trying to stop him. Truly awesome. Really, really cool cover, and definitely one of my favorites in the Neal Adams Batman run. 3 more. Here's another, it's a comic, but magazine size. How could you not like this one? Savage Tales, #1, Conan. I love Conan. I think it's a great character. I was a fan of the movies, although some people didn't like Conan the Destroyer. I liked Conan the Destroyer, but I liked the character of Conan, and I liked the world that Howard created for this character. And excuse me, this is a really great cover. Another decapitation cover. You know, decapitation covers tend to be really famous and high on a lot of people's awesome covers list. I'm certainly no exception. 2 more. I mean, we all know about this one. We all know what it is. Bernie Wrightson, really cool. I just love the way Swamp Thing is drawn here. I think that he's drawn here better than he is on Swamp Thing #1. How he's just creeping in, and you just see this image and you don't know what's going on here, because this is the first time you see Swamp Thing. You know, what kind of danger is lurking behind you, and then you read the story and then you find out more about it. But it's just so wonderful how ominous he looks, and that around his nose, that part that waves out, that was always one of the things that was so distinguishable about Swamp Thing, and kind of made him even creepier to look at. Definitely one of my favorites. And the last for this particular video, there'll be several more of these type of videos. Another EC, a really, really cool cover. Might even be a little controversial, but another Wally-Wood cover. Shock Suspense #5, the hanging cover, the lynching cover. Again, when you look at EC covers, you look at EC books, you see what's before you. Oh my God, a hanging and all that stuff. But when you take notice to some of the things in the background, it only adds to the level of awesomeness that is brought out on the cover and in the artwork and all of that. This is a classic cover, and a controversial one, but really, really cool to have, and I'm very happy to have it in my collection. Well, that is it for this particular video. I will have a couple more of these coming out every month, so I hope you'll tune in and watch and dedicate a little bit of your time throughout the day to these videos. Thank you all for watching. Take care.